No more hand signals or chalkboards. It's all wireless radio gear. And for racing radio, service at the track is the first order of business. And it's headed up by one very capable man.
In 1992, I was still on active duty in the Marine Corps, and I had a gunnery sergeant that worked for me that was getting ready to retire. And coincidentally, him and I had started out in the Marine Corps back in 1972 together, and he had asked me at his retirement party whether I had contemplated retirement soon also, and I told him that I'd retire the very next day if I could get a job doing just about anything in Winston Cup.
Pat Frossard and his Marine buddies soon went together to a NASCAR Winston Cup race in Atlanta as guests of Racing Radio, the official two-way radio of NASCAR. The stage was set.
And at the end of the weekend, I went to the owner of the company and told him that I had looked at what his people do and that I'd be more than happy to lend a hand the following season at any race that I could drive to on a Friday night and get back to the base on Monday morning. I told him that I wasn't even interested in getting paid, that I just wanted to become a part of this.
For the last 4 years of his active duty, Pat worked as a weekend warrior for Racing Radios. Around the garage, he became known simply as the Major. Having since retired from the Marines, he now works full-time.
The first thing I do when I get to the track is open this trailer up and clean it and get it ready to make it look like it's ready for business. I also start monitoring frequencies in the local area to see if there's going to be any potential for problems for the frequencies that we routinely use to officiate the race. And then I advise NASCAR on which of our 12 channels we should be using at a respective racetrack. My first priority at the racetrack is to ensure that the equipment that the NASCAR officials use, which is our equipment for two-way radio communications, is up and running at any given time. And that's everything from the handheld radios that you'll see the officials wearing, their headsets, their surveillance kits, the little lapel mics that they use.
This is called the safety crew in turn 3.
Prior to each NASCAR Winston Cup racing event, race director David Hoots goes through a complete radio check with each official around the track. It's the Major's job to meet NASCAR's high standards for race communication, as well as those of the race teams he services.
They're my first priority, and my second priority at the racetrack are the race teams that are my customers. The race teams are licensed to operate on specific frequencies, and that's a common misconception among a lot of folks that we routinely move the race teams from one frequency to another, and that just doesn't happen. Now, what does happen is we'll help race teams get licensed for 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 different frequencies so that they have backups that they can go to. And that's where the movement from one frequency to another occurs in a race team. During the race, I routinely get a chance to make a couple of trips up and down pit road. And what I'm doing then is I'm checking with my race teams to get a thumbs up from the guy that handles the radios to ensure that he's pleased with the way his radios are operating. The rest of the time, I'm here in the trailer monitoring the NASCAR radios to ensure that there aren't any problems with the NASCAR communication systems.
The Major is usually one of the first at the track and last to leave, but counting the hours is one thing he's never done.
I put an awful lot of time. I'm here when the garage opens, and I'm generally one of the last to leave. I don't think anyone that works for NASCAR should ever lose sight of the fact that there is a certain amount of privilege to be allowed to be out here and working, and that's the way I look at it. There's no way to put a figure on the amount of hours that you put in the job, and none of the folks out here in this garage area that have jobs in Winston Cup racing are hours counters. And there's no one punching the clock here. And it reminds me very much of being in the Marine Corps. No one's here for the money. We're here because we love what we're doing. I think first and foremost, if someone doesn't admit that to you, I don't think they're telling you the truth.
Chris, if Pat's one of the first to get there and one of the last to leave, you've got to figure the teams are there 12 hours, the officials even longer. You're talking, a good guess would be 15 to 16 hours a day.
Easily, and he does it every day, every race weekend, all season long. But the contribution of the Major in racing radios to racing is inestimable. You know, I used to pick on like that, but now it's crystal clear. Everybody's got what they need. It's really helped the sport.
And they're in almost every form of racing.
They are indeed. Coming up on